This is AI with Kyle. This is day 7 of building an AI application in public. I am live streaming currently on YouTube, X, and TikTok. TikTok viewers, if you want to get a full high resolution version instead of looking through the back camera of my camera, head over to YouTube and you'll be able to find a much cleaner setup. I am working on getting a full feed to TikTok. It requires me to have a Windows PC. I've yesterday reformatted an old MacBook and I am working towards turning it into a Windows PC via Ubuntu. Don't ask, it's become a whole thing, but we are nearly there. So what are we doing? We are building an application in public. It is an AI powered app and I'm using AI to build it. Specifically, I'm using Lovable. Lovable.dev is a vibe coding tool that allows you to use natural language. Literally, I will be talking to the dev tool in order to create the application, and I'm building this over 30 days. The idea being spending 1 hour per day on this project, taking it from an idea which we started last week into hopefully generating some money by the end of the month. And the whole purpose of this is not for me just to sprint out this tool in a day or two, but instead to show you that over 1 hour per day you can start to build up something which you can then take to market. So I think everybody can carve out an hour a day. That's something that even if you have a job, even if you have kids and other responsibilities, is relatively reasonable. So that's why I'm limiting myself. Otherwise I probably would have had this done and launched and moved on to the next thing. So I'm being very patient with myself. So what are we building? We are building a tool which allows me to, let me pull up the full version. It allows me to turn YouTube videos into lead magnets. The reason I'm doing this is I want to be able to create pieces of value that sit underneath my YouTube videos and my customers' YouTube videos later, which can get the viewers to click and download a piece of information, something that is valuable. So for example, currently it generates by taking the transcript from the YouTube video, pulling it down into my application, and then giving me 3 different lead magnet ideas. The ones I have in play at the moment are a checklist. So it will take the video and it will create a actionable checklist off the back of that video. The second one is a quiz. So it allows you to build a quiz or an assessment which you can give away to your audience members and your customers. And then the third one is a PDF guide. It creates like a summary. I can add more lead magnets. These are the 3 that I built for now. And the basic way it works is that when I put in a YouTube video, I connect to the YouTube API that pulls the transcript from that YouTube video into my go ahead and generate one into my application, and then off that transcript plus details of my business I provided, it generates a lead magnet. And again, that lead magnet will sit below that video and it will have a hey, click here if you want to get a checklist, which will allow my viewers and my customers' viewers to click that, fill in their email address and get the checklist, get the quiz, get the PDF guide, whatever that lead magnet is. So here, for example, is a lead magnet which has been created from my video. Which one is it? Why is AI creating 2 classes of workers? So I put this video in. That's not even a public video, but it still works. I put that video in and it's generated a actually no, it's not from that video, it's from a different video. It has gone ahead and created a actionable checklist which I can now give away to my viewers in exchange for their email address. Cool. So that's what we're doing. Yesterday we built in a dashboard which allows us to see all of our videos in here, and all of the lead magnets have been generated off the back of that particular video. That is not working yet, so that's what we're going to work on today. There's a refresh button. What does that do? Nothing. So also had a really cool suggestion from, I've forgotten the name, Ed O'Brien, who said, oh, you should replace this little icon here with the thumbnail of the video. Such a good idea. So I'm also going to try and do that if I have time to, because I'm already connecting to YouTube, grabbing the transcript. At the same time, let's see if we can grab the thumbnail and drop it in here, because that's going to allow me to very quickly and visually identify the video. So thank you to Ed for that idea. And this is why I'm building in public as well, because people can say, oh, have you tried this? You could try this. Because I ran into a tech problem, was it would have been the end of last week, and the answer actually came from chat. They said, oh, you should try doing such and such and such, and I did, and it worked. And thank you, it's really cool. So let's get into it. First thing we need to do is make sure that the lead magnets actually appear connected to these videos. I'm also noticing this is showing up as a YouTube video rather than what the actual video is called, so that seems wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some water first because I'm about to talk. I'm going to use the new Lovable voice mode, which I added last week, which is really, really useful for this stream, so you don't have to watch me type, because I cannot spell. And you will very quickly notice that if you're watching the live stream. It's like, wow, he's a terrible speller. And having the additional pressure of watching people, of people watching you spell, does not help. So let's go ahead and talk to Lovable. Hey Lovable, a couple of things we want to do. So thank you for adding in the video first, checklist second implementation. That works really well. However, what I'm seeing is, well, a couple of things. When I generate a video, or the last video that I just generated, so check the logs, generated on the 9th of September at 11:07 a.m. First thing, it doesn't have the title. It just says YouTube video in the video entry. So let's check that. Second thing, the lead magnets, once generated, they are generating fine. I can see them. That's not a problem. But they are not showing up in the video and lead magnet history in the dashboard. So they are being created, but I don't think they're being assigned necessarily to that video. So we still need to work on that particular functionality. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send that voice message over to Lovable. Failed to transcribe audio. Please try again. I am not. I think what might have happened is I scrolled away to another tab. That might have created a problem. Let's try it. Okay, Lovable. Thank you for adding the video first database entry. So I like the direction we're going in. Couple of issues. So I just uploaded a video, had it transcribed. It has appeared in the dashboard, but it has the title is YouTube video rather than the actual title of the video. That's the first problem. That was created on the 9th of September, so check the logs for that. The other problem is the lead magnets that are generated connected to the new video are not appearing in the dashboard. The lead magnet was generated in the generator and I was able to read it, but it has not been assigned to and it's not visible in the dashboard. So let's fix that. Hopefully their voice mode, which I was just talking about, hasn't stopped working. Cool, that is working. I think it's with 11 Labs. I read yesterday somebody on Twitter was saying congrats on your integration with 11 Labs. So very cool if it is. I've had no problems with the voice transcription at all. It's very good. So it's going to check and go through all of that. Let me just hop over to any questions. Sorry, TikTok, you're very close to my face because I have... It's a good thing you can't see it. It's a mess. I've got my main camera over here, then I've got the lights and everything, etc. And then I have to bring my phone camera quite close to myself so I can get the angle so you can see this. Again, I'm working on this. I will have another computer in play soon that will connect up TikTok via TikTok Studio, because TikTok Studio is PC only, and I do not have a PC. I haven't used PC for decades. So I'm having to reformat a MacBook, an old MacBook, into a PC, and it's just taking time. But hopefully I'll have that for you soon. Until then, you just need to be very close to my face and have a bit of a blurry view of the screen. I'm sorry about that. So Lovable is continuing. So it's doing some editing in Supabase. Okay. Doing a lot of steps, which is probably fine. So it looks like to me it's looking for where the problem is. So the issue is the YouTube video title is not showing up, so we need it to. Bizarrely, it was yesterday. So when I generated this Will AI Kill Universities, that has shown up. So we're going to deal with that first, because that seems like a small bug. bug, excuse me. We're going to deal with that first. Then we're going to make sure the lead magnets actually appear here, because that's the core functionality. Then I'm going to loop back and add a thumbnail. So the YouTube thumbnail will appear here instead of this generic image, which I think will be useful. And that was a suggestion from Ed. No, not my idea, but one of the audience members. Doing a lot of reading and thinking. What are you doing? This is my fault for opening up the... I'll close that down so I don't have to think about it. So we are vibe coding all of this. So you do not need to know how to code. Knowing how to code is useful because you can kind of understand how software is made. You can get in and fix things if you need to. It's easier to stop it getting into a loop when you know what's actually happening. But that said, you do not need to in order to work with something like Lovable. I fixed both issues by updating the video title retrieval and lead magnet association logic. So we don't believe it ever. We always assume that it's not telling us the truth. So we're going to go and check. So we're going to run an analysis. Each time I do this, it's costing me some money because I'm using the ChatGPT API. But let's see how much it's costing me, because a lot of people always worry about this, like, oh no, when I connect to the AI, it's going to cost me a lot of money. Yesterday I spent 1 cent. No, sorry, today I've spent 1 US cent so far, and yesterday I spent 4 cent. And the most I've spent in a day has been 11 cent. So the API usage is very cheap, especially when you are testing. This comes into play. So far for this project over the last few weeks, I've spent 35 cents and I have a budget of 120. So I think I'm okay. This becomes an issue when you launch and you have lots of users who are suddenly using it. So suddenly, you know, costing 1 cent per usage is fine, but then you have 10,000 people using it a day. Suddenly the bills go up. But the purpose of building an application like this is you're going to charge more than it costs you with the API, and the API is thankfully very, very cheap. So it has gone ahead and it has produced, okay, that's good. It's got the video name, so I'm going to create the checklist. So it's an AI adoption checklist for workers based on why AI is creating 2 classes of workers. This is the video title. It might be an issue because I used a non-public video. It's scheduled. So this could be a human error. This could be me being stupid. So let's see if this works. If it doesn't, let's use another video. So it's gone ahead. It's created that checklist. It could be downloaded. Cool. Future proof. So that's fine as a lead magnet. I'm going to go back to ideas and then back to the dashboard. Okay. So a couple of things have happened. The video title is still blank. That might be because I'm using a non-public video. However, it has created the checklist. So now, whenever I want to get this checklist, I'll be able to come back in and see it here. It has not, interestingly, okay, it's not quite right. It allows me to create the lead magnet again, but I've already created the lead magnet. So what I want is to save the lead magnet itself. So first things first, I'm going to actually do it with a public video. Because it's a bit stupid. Gender income gap. Let's try this one. This could just be me being thick. So I'm going to go ahead, do another video, generate it. Okay. AI adoption awareness checklist for women. Fine. Go ahead and create that. And then we will go back to the dashboard and see if it's managed to assign the title properly. If not, we know it's a wider problem. So yes, it has. Okay, so the AI gender gap will create massive income equality is the name of the video title. Yes, it is. Awesome. And it has created 1 lead magnet. So that is now working. We're getting there. Watch video. Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. View transcript. So it has the transcript here. So it allows us to save the transcript. Obviously, this is a bit of a mess. This is directly from YouTube. That's why it looks like that. And then we can generate more lead magnets from it. But okay. So the first thing is fixed is the lead magnets are showing up. However, it's not actually the lead magnet, it is the ability to generate the lead magnet, so that is useless, so we need to fix that. Second thing is, we have noticed if it is an unpublished video, it seems to be pulling in the word YouTube video. That's less of an issue, but I'd still like to fix it. So let's do with one thing at a time. Hey Lovable, that seems to be working. One's fixed. So the lead magnet idea is now being assigned to the video, so that's good, and I can see that in the dashboard. Great job. However, it doesn't allow me to view the generated lead magnet. It instead allows me to generate that lead magnet, but we have already generated the lead magnet, which is why it's showing up in the dashboard. So we need to change that to a view action instead of a generate action, and this means you need to actually store that lead magnet. I don't know if you are already, so first check if you are storing a copy of that lead magnet, and then we're going to change the dashboard so that we can view that extant, that existing lead magnet. We do not want a generate button because again it's already been generated. Let's fix that for now. That's our first task. Failed to transcribe. What is going on? I'm gonna have to write to Lovable. Try that again. Okay, Lovable. So we have a small problem in the dashboard. The lead magnet idea is being attached to the video. That's great, awesome. However, the lead magnet idea has a generate button rather than a view button. I want them to be able to view their past generated lead magnets, not be able to generate that lead magnet again. That's against the whole purpose of keeping an archive. We want them to have a history of their previously generated lead magnets connected to that video. If you have not saved that in the database, we need to do that. And if it is saved in the database, all we need to do is change that that button from generate to view and allow them to re-access it from the dashboard. Thank you. Okay, hopefully it's going to stop failing. Well, that is extremely annoying. I know a few of the devs at Lovable, so I'm going to be sending them annoyed messages. So I'm going to have to type. I'm going to have to type like a peasant. Cool. Oh god, don't make me type. So the voice transcription has only been there for about a week, but I've become so used to it now that typing just seems gross. The dashboard now shows the past generated lead magnets. However, the generated lead magnets have a generate button rather than a view button. The purpose of the archive/history is to be able to re-access the existing lead magnets, not to generate. Check. So we need to save the lead magnets in our database, assigned to the specific video. Okay, I'm not going to talk about users yet. And be able to retrieve it using retrieve them, because there's multiple. Retrieve them using the dashboard view lead magnet button. Okay, that should do. God, making me type things. Message me to get a full UK driver's license without exam, no test needed. What? Well, I already have one, and I don't think you should be giving people driver's licenses. So I'm going to go ahead and block you, because I think driver's license, this is non-controversial, but I think having to test people to be able to drive a vehicle is quite a good idea. So you're going to get blocked. too bad. I do have people who come in, they see that I'm using Lovable, and they're like, don't use Lovable, and then they start talking about a different tool. It's like, oh, you should use this. I can't even remember their names. It's happened multiple times. But I always go and check, and it's like their version that they've made, and they're always terrible. It's like, nice try. I mean, I respect the hustle. I wouldn't want to be competing with Lovable right now. They are the fastest software company to reach 100 million recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, which is impressive. So maybe the fastest company. I can't think of any other industries that go faster than the software. But 9 months ago, it was basically Anton and I think 2 other guys, about 3 of them when they started. And now they have about 100 or so in 9 months, and they've gone to 100 million revenue. So they've grown a lot. I was there last weekend. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. Got some swag from Lovable. This stream that I'm doing is not sponsored. This is just because I like Lovable, and that's also why I was over there visiting them. There are other options, so there's things like bolt.new, replete, v0, cursor, if you are more technically minded. So there are other tools that you can use to vibe code. I just prefer Lovable. I've tried them all. Oh, there's a base 44, which now belongs to Wix, etc. Like, there's a whole bunch of them. Lovable is my preference. So, if you do want to use Lovable, you can. Where is it? And you haven't used it before. Well, first up, they have 5 daily credits for free. So far, I'm still in my daily free credits, which is cool. So that gives you an idea of how much work you can do on the free plan. Oh, no, I've just used them. Okay, so I've been working on this for 20 minutes or so, and I've just used up my free credits. So now I'm going to start using my paid for credits. But if you use my invite link, which I should put below the video, I guess. I'll put below the video and in the newsletter. When you sign up, you get an extra 10 credits. So it's going to give you 15 credits, which is enough to get you started on a project. So I'll fix the dashboard and save and display existing lead magnets with a view button instead of generate. Okay, so dashboard now saves lead magnets when saved. So again, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try it out. I might be able to, I might be able to do it from here. No, I'm going to have to regenerate. That is fine. So which one was it? Agenda gap. Let's get the shareable link. Take it over to here, throw it into that. Let's see what it does. B44, yeah, base 44 created a great detail plan. B4, oh dear, we broke something. Base 44 is solid. They're all good tools. I just prefer Lovable personally. Blocked by cause policy. I am going to sign out and sign back in because that is very often the problem. Let's try. No. Okay, so what we're going to do, the first thing we do is we're going to pull from the console. For those of you who've been watching the live stream, know that I do this immediately. So in Chrome, I'm going to right click, then click on inspect, and then that shows me all of this. You can see here on the right hand side there are 4 errors going on. To actually see those errors, we're going to click on console here, and then we're going to copy console, and we're going to take that over to here. Got an error on generation. Boop, and then we're going to give that to Lovable and see if it can resolve from there. This isn't the only way to fix problems, but it's generally the first thing you want to do. Is basically take the problem over back into your tool and say, hey, it's gone wrong, this is why. And this is also why when it says perfect, I've done it, it works, we don't listen to it. We have to test every single time. I'll check and fix the cause error that's preventing lead magnet generation. Awesome. Juan Manuel is saying base 44 created a great detailed plan. Absolutely, base 44 is good. What I do for plans personally, now different workflows, but what I personally do, okay, I'm not going to verify my method. I personally make my method, I personally make my plans in Claude. So I did this on day 1. I started with a very basic prompt, which was I want to build a tool that allows me to enter a YouTube URL, get the transcript, ideate the lead magnet ideas, and then produce lead magnets in a form that we can use to capture emails. Ask me questions about the project. So this is how I started last Monday. And it asked me a whole bunch of different questions, and I answered the questions, gave it more information about what I want to build. And then we went back and forward. It gave me a couple of options of how we could build this. And then I answered more questions, and we continued until it eventually gave me a full, here it is, prompt, which I can take over to my lead magnet tool. So I started in Claude to get the basics done. The reason I do that, rather than use Lovable or Base 44 or Cursor or any of those, is that they tend to just rush off and start to create immediately. You can definitely put them into chat mode, like down here. There's the ability to chat with it. However, I personally prefer to do it in Claude. Then I can just take my time, not worry about credits or anything like that, and just really flesh out the project plan with an external AI, and then bring all of that work into my tool of choice, which is Lovable in this particular case. Ooh, something's going wrong. Let's try to fix. A bit worried about this. But it depends on the sophistication of the project too. Sometimes if it's a really basic project, you can just give your specification. You can say what you want to build straight into Lovable, and it will just one-shot it. However, that's only on very, very simple applications. If it's going to be more complex than that, you generally want to think through what it looks like before you give it to the tool. Otherwise, you'll end up like globbing bits on and adding bits piece by piece. But this is stuff that comes from experience, from building multiple things, getting things wrong, making mistakes. You realize that, that was not the way to do it. So for your next project, you will do it differently. So just start building. And again, there are free plans, so it's enough to play around with. Okay, it says it's fixed. We don't believe it because we never do. So we're going to go ahead. We try it again. Hopefully we won't run into a problem today, because it is nice when we don't, and we can just like push through. Yeah, we have a problem. Invalid. Let's try again. We generally don't want to just get into this loop of saying it's broken, because we can create a mess. So we might want to roll back. Same issue. Before you push on with a fix, assess if this is the same or different, and give me options. Oh, 007 Labs, that's high fruit, okay. The iPhone, iPad keyboard speech to text is so long compared to that of AI apps. Really shows a lack of innovation and enhancements to Apple's tech recently. I understand you use Apple. Yeah. So the speech to text inside of Lovable is using 11 Labs, which is a really good software for this. Probably cutting edge. So that's why their speech to text, I hate saying it that way. I'm so used to saying text to speech. That's why their speech to text is so good, is because they're using 11 Labs. And you're right that Apple's implementation of anything AI is behind. They have, is it today? I think it's today. There's an Apple announcement later today. And there's some rumors, scuttlebutt, that it's got to do with AI. Previous AI releases have been extremely underwhelming, so we'll see. And I think there's a new iPhone coming, which, if you care about iPhone, I don't know anyone who's cared about the new iPhone for the last 10 years. It's like, oh, it's a bit smaller, the camera's a bit better. Okay. Edge function deploy. What I'm going to do before I do that, I'm going to sign out and sign back in. The reason is that was causing issues before, because when you make changes and it's still got the authorization token from my last sign in, that was causing issues. Okay, I don't think it is that. Start with the logs. Okay, so we're working through this particular issue. Hopefully it's not a big deal. And we'll be able to push through. Again, no, this is just kind of part and parcel of creating. And the key is not to get so frustrated that you give up. Although I feel the urge sometimes. But it's just part of creating. Found the issue. It shows 503 service unavailable. Responses for option requests with a high execution time. It means the edge function is crashing before it can handle the cause pre-flight. It's failing to deploy, yes, but why? Okay, it's trying to fix it. I'm interested in why that is. So with all of this, if you did want to learn to code at the same time, which I still highly recommend, you can actually ask the AI what's going on. If you do it in something like Lovable, you are going to be using credits doing that, but you can, if you want, you can copy paste what's happening out into ChatGPT. You can copy paste it into Claude, and you can have that running in parallel to the side, and you just keep asking, okay, what's happening? Like, explain this to me. What's a cause pre-flight, for example? What's a 503 response? And you can have the AI tell you what is going on. And if it is too complex, you say, no, too complex. Like, explain it to me like I'm 5. And that allows you to build and to learn at the same time. Because that's one of the risks of vibe coding, is that we do it in a very mindless way, because the tools are really good. But it is useful to learn what is happening as well, because that makes us better at building generally. Problem identified. Okay, strategy. I've replaced a complex function with a minimal test version to isolate the deployment issue. Cool. So let's give it a go. So we should get a 200 error instead of a 503 error. We didn't get any error. It just crashed out. Okay, just got a blank screen. So show logs. Okay. Pop these logs in. We get a 200 error. So I'm going to relay what I'm seeing. Blank screen and this runtime error. If you're using a more kind of agentic tool, it would be able to look at what it's seeing on screen and relay that back into the vibe coding tool and go from there. But if you're using something like Lovable, at least for now, you still need to be there as part of the process to tell it what's going on, what you're seeing, what's working, what's not working. I personally don't mind that, because it allows me to, yes, I'm there physically, I have to do the work, but it allows me to guide what's happening. Different issue. This is a front-end crash. Cool. Awesome. Lead magnets.map is called, but lead magnets is undefined. Let me fix. I'm a little worried that this is cascading. Apparently this is fixed. Again, we do not trust it until it's working, so that is visible. Come to here. For good measure, I'm going to sign out and sign back in. It's not the video. Let's grab this one. Stick it back in here. Okay, that worked, but okay, oops. Okay, the generation went to the next screen, but it's all placeholders. Secret Offer says, do you mind me asking what you're building? Not at all. So over the next 30 days, well, less than that now, we're now on day 6 of 30, I'm building an AI application using AI. So what I'm building specifically is something that I want for myself, but I will launch it as a product as well, is a tool that lets me put in a YouTube video. It grabs the transcript of the video so it knows what's happening in that video, and then it generates lead magnets off the back of that video, which I can place below the video in order to get email addresses. So it's a marketing tool, basically. I'm going to be using it internally, but also potentially releasing it to creators. So initially it will be for YouTube creators, but I can also spin this out so it's for Instagram, TikTok, I mean anything really. I can create lead magnets for any piece of content. I'm doing it with YouTube for now, but I'll also be able to do it for short form videos, which would be probably easier than YouTube because we're dealing with less text, and for blog articles and guides, for example, or even sales pages. Like, we'll be able to put any information into it, generate lead magnets off the back of it, use that for email capture, take people into marketing funnels. But right now it's very much an MVP. We've got the basic functionality working. Well, it's broken at the moment, but we had the basic functionality working. And then we will build and increase complexity from there. Right, let's have a proper look at this. Console, this is the same. 200. Yes, okay. That's what we wanted. So it looks like we're still hitting errors, but what it's done is we wanted to see the 200 error instead of the 500 error. So that means we're getting there. So there is a 200 error. I mean, it can see that, but I'm just going to feed that back. So it was doing some testing basically and changed the code so it could test whether, well, what the problem is basically. So you're getting a 400 error. Am I? Oh, non-200. Okay, we want the 200. Okay, I read that wrong. Perfect, the cause is fixed. I can see some, but the latest one returned 401. Let me check. I see you're getting not 200. Let me check what's happening in the edge function super base. Perfect, the cause is fixed. Option returns 200. And I can see some post requests worked to return 200, but the latest one returned 401. Let me check the detailed logs. The logs show a 401 error because you aren't revealing a specific cause. Since your front end shows you have all the necessary tokens, let me add debugging to identify. It's annoying. Oh, it's saying it hasn't got the OpenAI key. Well, if you haven't got the OpenAI key, that's definitely what it is. So I'm going to, how can I do this without showing it on stream? It's the big question. Okay, that is still very much on screen. Oh wait, I can't get it from here anyway. Okay, it has the key. Oh, that's very annoying. You were given the OpenAI key previously. Check Superbase carefully. So the OpenAI key allows me to connect to their API and to send and receive requests, basically. So my application sits on my server. When people come and visit it, they will put in some information, and then that information plus some stuff from the application will be sent over to ChatGPT. So it will be sent to OpenAI and to GPT-5 in particular. We use the API to do that. So the API sends it back and forward. To do that, we have something called an API key, which is basically a password, sort of, kind of. The reason I'm not showing it on stream is that if somebody has that password, they can access my my API, and they can run up a huge bill by plugging it into their piece of software. That's why I'm not showing it. So I'll check Superbase Edge. Let me check. Okay, I don't think it. So I've already given it my key, but it was saying, hey, you need to give me your key, which I don't think I do. Okay, This is very annoying. I think we need to roll back. No dice. Still not working. If I roll back... Actually, let's just go ahead. I'm going to do a rollback. It might not work though because of my database. Transcript abstractions. Expected edge results. Okay, so it's still back in here. The 401 error is here. Indicated missing closing. So I'm trying to find out. No, this was earlier. I've gone too far. I see the issue. Sorry. Build unsuccessful. I wish they had dates or times on these because it's really hard to tell. Info collection. Okay, no, we've gone way... Oh gosh, we've got way too far back. I'm back days and days ago. Trying to push, so this is here. Syntax error. Dashboard, save and display. Okay, here we go. Detail logs that shows exactly where it's failing. Nope, it's still here. Try this. This might not work though because of Superbase, our backend changes. So I'm just going to try it. It's unlikely to work. I've also got everything on GitHub and I can roll back Superbase changes. It's just going to be a bit more fiddly. A lot more fiddly, unfortunately. Let's give that a go. Okay, that's good. It hasn't crashed out. Okay, that worked. So, in that case, I'm not mad about the fact that... Okay, I need to actually... So I have to squeeze my face. I'm going to restore that. I'm not terribly excited about the fact that I have Superbase changes, but that is working. Let's push it to the here. Let's try that again. Okay, that works. Let's generate a checklist and see where we are. 007 Lab says you definitely need at least a dual screen setup. Yeah, yes, I do. The big issue is space. So I'm in a London, my house is in London, and yeah, space is tricky. And so I could have a screen up there, or I could flip the screen and put another one here, but I also have lots of film and lighting equipment, so it is messy. But what I could do is I could have my iPad mounted, so at least I can throw sensitive stuff over to that, do it on that one, and then bring it back in. Okay, so there we go. 11. That did not. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we're back. We're back to where we needed to be. That's fine. But how do we avoid? Okay. So I've rolled back. Need magnets. Right, I'm going to try voice because I know it wasn't working before, but it is very annoying. Okay, Lovable. I have done a rollback to a previous Lovable version. The functionality is now working. Lead magnets can be generated. We're not getting any 401 errors. However, okay, we are in the same position where the lead magnets appear and they are assigned to the video. However, there is a generate button rather than a view button. Last time you tried to fix this for me, I think you potentially overcomplicated it. We just want to view the existing lead magnet that has already been generated. Let's just make that change for now. So add a view button as well as the generate button connected to each lead magnet, and we'll see if that works. And it should allow me to see the previously generated lead magnet associated with that entry. That's not ideal. That's not a very clear instruction. So if this doesn't work, that's entirely my fault. But let's give it a go. Have you seen those smaller 10-inch screens you can plug into a USB port? Yes, I actually have a like a triple screen setup thing which goes at the back of a laptop, and it allows you to fold out and have additional screens. Yeah, I need something like that. Stick up on a wall somewhere, just for my API keys. I'll add a view button. Let's give it a go. Oh god, 900 messages. Get a Vision Pro, an Apple Vision Pro for the second screen. I mean, that would be pretty cool. It's also a good way to expense getting an Apple Vision Pro, I guess. But then I'll have to do all my streams with a headset on, which I don't know. I do have a an Oculus somewhere. Where is it? It tells you how much I use it. I don't know where my Oculus is. It's mainly for Beat Saber, I'll be honest. Right, let's give that a go. Boom. Added a view button. So why is that? Why is that affecting the generation is my question. Okay, it didn't affect the generation there, but is that because it hasn't updated? Ben saying, yeah, it's super good for planes too, the Apple Vision Pro. So I have the Steam Deck for plane flights, which works pretty great. I like flying now. Steam Deck time. Okay, that didn't do anything, so that would just create again. Okay, I don't know why this is such a problem. It really shouldn't be. Let's try generating from here. Okay, let's try signing out. Off session missing. Well, that's probably why that's not working. So sign out, sign in. Okay, that created, but view lead magnet is now working. There we go. It looks a mess, but it has worked, and it even has these previous ones I created yesterday. Let's see. Oh no, because okay, they weren't assigning. Let's try understanding. Yes, okay, so that means it is working. It just looks ugly as hell. Cool. I don't know why this is broken. Okay. Cool, lovable. That has worked. The view button allows me to see the previous lead magnets, so that's all good. Could you remove the generate lead magnet from those same cards, because right now there's a UI problem and those are being clipped out. So just remove that button, and the primary button will be view. Yeah, Ben, I don't need any more excuse. Oh my god, I'm genuinely going to text one of the developers at Lovable in a minute saying what the hell is going on. This is the problem with letting me into your offices and letting me talk to your staff. Now I'm going to be an absolute pain. Okay, that works, but the UI is a mess. Please remove the generate button from each lead magnet card. Leave the view button, which we just added. That should be sufficient. Okay, how are we doing for time? 50 minutes. So the next thing, if this works and it doesn't explode my app, we've had a few issues today, but we're getting there. What I would love to add, which was a suggestion yesterday from Ed, is the ability to see the thumbnails, because very quickly that allows me to identify videos. Done. Gonna go ahead and have a look. Not done here, but I'm never quite sure. Go to the dashboard. I'm never quite sure when, if and when it is updated. There we go. So view lead magnet, bam, that works. Okay, we are getting there. We are rocking and rolling. I'm going to delete these because those are from before and they don't have any lead magnets associated. So we are now rocking and rolling. We have these lead magnets are showing up. Okay, happy. I have. So what we've done is it pulls through the YouTube title. It assigns the lead magnets to that particular video, and then there's a drop down. You can see the lead magnets that have been generated. So I've actually generated 3 different checklists in this case. Now this is interesting because it's AI, they're all slightly different. So notice that the key elements are a bit different. Evaluate your confidence levels, set personal goals. But let's actually look here. So check your awareness level, understand the gender gap, build confidence with practical use. I hope somebody's remembered that. Oh, assess, build. Okay, bridge and build. So they're different. So these are different lead magnets, which is good because we want variations. Assess, tackle, and start experimenting. Awesome. Very, very, very cool. I like that. So the next thing I want to do, I've got 10 minutes or so, is I would love to replace this image with the thumbnail, because then I'll be able to look at this and very quickly see which video it is. It would be slightly ugly. It depends on their thumbnails, really, doesn't it? So if they have ugly thumbnails, then it will, because right now it looks very pretty. Oh, sorry, it looks like a Lovable app. Bless them, but all Lovable apps do look the same. They all have this kind of clean. I like how it looks, but they do look the same. Let's do it. I think it would be cool. Okay, that. Excuse me. Okay, that works. Thanks. I still say thank you because I know you're not meant to, and we've been told it wastes tokens, etc., etc. But if and when the uprising comes, I still want to be one of the polite ones. Plus, I'm British, and it's kind of hard not to say thank you. It goes against every bone in my body. I would like. I'm going to actually put it into chat mode because this might be more complex. I would like to make it so the thumbnail of the YouTube video displays instead of the current, what do we even call this? Let me see if I can inspect the element. Video transcript. No, sorry, that is this thing specifically is the Lucide circle play blah blah blah. Okay, I just say instead of the current purple play icon, in the video entry in the dashboard. I'm just trying to specify. This would allow the videos to be rapidly identified visually rather than just by the title. Can we pull the thumbnail using the current Google API connection we have and store it in the DB without them taking up lots of space, because we'll have lots of users. feasibility, best methods. So this is an exploratory chat. Again, I could have done this in Claude, but it's a bit easier here because Lovable knows what purple, well, hopefully it knows what purple icon I'm talking about. Great idea. Let me examine the current code base to understand how we can implement YouTube thumbnails effectively. So funnily enough, it thinks it's a great idea. It always does. That is still one of the problems with AI, is they are overly agreeable. O7 Labs is saying, can you expose the actual code? Yes, we can. So you can get access to everything if you want to go in, and you can change things around as well. So it's all accessible using this little code mode button up here, in the same way that you would in Cursor. So Cursor, for those who haven't used it, this stuff which is here on screen is a lot more visible. You can see all your project files, and then you can access all of the individual files, and you can see as Cursor makes changes to those files, and you can approve or reject the changes, but you can actually see and access all of the code. It is here in Lovable, it's just hidden away a bit. That's because they're going for different markets. So Lovable is very much more for the entry-level market, and Cursor is for people who don't mind using an IDE, people who've got some kind of coding background. Even if it's very, very basic, they can hop into Cursor. But for a lot of people, booting up Cursor for the first time is incredibly intimidating if they've never seen anything like that. I was talking to somebody who won. She was one of the winners in the Lovable Shipped competition. I think she came third. I might be wrong there. I think she came third. She had never coded in her life, but she put together an education platform to help people learn English based on the 10 plus books and her decades of teaching English experience. She built an application to help them learn. She had never ever coded. She had no idea how to code, and she'd actually hired a developer. She'd got some funding and hired a developer for the first version, and the developer screwed her over and disappeared, and she lost some money. I think it was funded by the EU. And then she heard about Lovable Shipped from Brand Nat, my friend Nat, joined Lovable Shipped, played around with Lovable, realized, oh wait, I can do this myself using natural language by talking to Lovable, and she built out an app, and it's really good. It's got like a robust back end, and it's surprisingly good. But she, at one point, somebody said, hey, you should try Cursor. Cursor's much better than Lovable. And she booted up Cursor and was immediately like, nope, absolutely not, because it's incredibly intimidating looking when you first open it, and if you are not somebody who is technical. So quite rightfully, she bounced off immediately, like, I ain't got time for that, and she built with Lovable instead. So they are different tools for different jobs, really. What I personally do, or I've been doing it less and less, and I probably won't do it for this project, but I build primarily in Lovable to start with. Then I send it up to GitHub, which is, if you haven't used it before, is well, you can see here, you can see all my files here. It's kind of like cloud storage. I know that's not right, but it's kind of like a cloud storage for your project. I can then pull down from this GitHub cloud storage into Cursor, and then I can continue to work on it. So we have like a shared code base sitting in the cloud, which both Lovable and Cursor can access. And when I make changes on Cursor, I can push that into my shared code base. I can save the changes up there, and then Lovable can see them as well. And I can move back and forth between the tools if I want to. That is an option. So even if you start in one thing, that does not mean you are locked into it. And I personally recommend something like Lovable as a good place to start a project. And then if you need to, you can move it to Cursor, you can move it to wherever you want and go from there. So I've already got Google OAuth connection working. Awesome. You extract in vid IDs, and I've got the video transcripts. Currently using a. Here's what I recommend for optimal thumbnail storage. Excuse me. Add a thumbnail URL column. Okay. No need to store the actual image files. Use YouTube CDN. Okay, awesome. Thumbnail extraction. Yeah, we don't need a large thumbnail because it's tiny. Space efficient, fast, technical implementation. Each thumbnail is 80 characters, negligible database storage, no file storage required. Okay, so it's actually going to it's going to pull the thumbnails and load them from YouTube instead of pulling the thumbnails onto my database, which is good because I was a little bit worried. Let's say this is a success and I have 10,000 people using this. Awesome, great, happy days. The problem there is that every time they generate something, it's going to be pulling their thumbnail onto my database, and that's going to start filling up space. It's entirely something that can be dealt with, but if we can kind of preempt it early on, thinking about storage, thinking about speed, etc., then we would like to do so. So all I've asked is, hey, is this going to be a problem later? Is this going to clog up my server? And it's saying, no, we're going to load the thumbnails from YouTube. So when somebody is in their dashboard here, this will show a thumbnail, but that image is getting loaded from YouTube, the YouTube CDN, rather than from my database. So let's give that a go, see if that works. Otherwise, we could pull down a version, put it on our site. Thumbnail system implemented. Is that it? Okay. It did a couple of little actions and then apparently it worked. So I don't see a thumbnail there, but I might need to do it with a new video because it probably does it on generation. So let's pull that video in. Yeah, sorry, I'll have to do it. I'll have to pull because it's now going back to Google. And I must be, oh, I'm at the end of the hour. So that is now done. Let's go to the dashboard. Ah, that was the wrong one to do because we've already created this one. So let's grab this one instead. Throw that in. This may not work immediately, in which case I'm going to have to pick this up tomorrow because I have a call with a charity in about 10 minutes and they want to build an application. Oh, there we go. That worked. It's the wrong shape and size, but that worked. Nice. That worked, but it's cut off. The original icon was square with rounded edges, and YouTube thumbnail is rectangle. God. So we need to adjust the UI accordingly. I still want it to look good on screen though. So how can we do that? I'm going to ask it. So not just a raw thumbnail. Can you? I can't think how to do it, so I'm going to ask Lovable to do it, so it looks nice on screen. I'm going to be very vague. So I'm saying I want you to pull it in. I want you to make it rectangular, but do something to make it look okay. I don't know what that is. I'm not a designer, so I basically gave it to Lovable and said, can you make it look okay? So it's going to add some polished styling to make it look great. Cool. Cool. We'll see what that looks like in a minute. It might be terrible. What I might need to do is go and look at other websites and see how they've done it. So something like vidIQ maybe, because we'll have a look. But let's go and have a look. Okay, it hasn't done it immediately, so we're going to generate again. This will be the last thing we do. I will generate another page because generate another video because it's putting through the thumbnail on this analysis step, not afterwards. Okay, that's good. And there we go. Ooh, that's not bad. So it's got a little effect when I scroll over it. It's a little small. I click on this. So we probably want to get rid of that play button because that's confusing, because it makes you think, oh, it's going to play the video, which is not. So we need to get rid of that. But otherwise, this is looking much better. Cool. So we'll deal with the play button, but I like the little animation. It's not 100% clear what that is because it's quite small, but I think that's okay because you can still see the visual element, and it allows me to choose that quickly. Cool. So I'm going to wrap up for today. I'll be back tomorrow doing the new AI news around 10 a.m. and then doing Building Public around 11 a.m. London time. And everything is available also on the YouTube channel. Excuse me, I sound like, put it on the Facebook. And you can find all of the previous days of Building in Public. If you are building alongside me, please tell me. If you are building something, doesn't matter if it's in Lovable, wherever you're building, tell me when you have like a link and we can share it, and I'd like to bring it up on the stream. I'll play around with it. We'll get you some traffic. We'll send some people your way if you are building alongside me. Cool. So I'm going to hop off now and go and talk to this charity about building an application for them. They're interested in using Lovable, so I will continue to push Lovable apparently. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much, and have a great day.